Ladies and gentlemen, wrong intro. Hey guys, I'm Eric.
I'm Nathan.
And we are
Notes
and Nerds. So, I forgot, what were we here for?
We're here for a totally tubular thing, dude.
I forgot one of his lines in the, so yeah. Well, I'm out of breath. I was just running around, I'm not like some fancy ninja and everything.
Yep, we know why you're here, and it's because the guy that played in Mighty Med and Accepted, and
wasn't he in those 2 Ninja Turtle films?
I think he was.
That would explain that weird green thing.
Oh, that's a growth.
That's what I thought.
Okay.
So, hey, let's go ahead and get this guy out here. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, let's introduce Jeremy Howard.
How you doing? Nice to see you, Nathan, Aaron.
Hey.
Good to see you guys.
We're going to put you between us.
Okay, cool. Thanks for coming, folks.
All right, so how has your stay been here at Kansas City Comic Con?
Oh, it's been great.
Awesome.
Yeah, Kansas City is amazing. You don't, you just think middle of the country. I had no idea what to expect, but it's a lively town, and we've gone out to eat. I've walked both times. So
have you had the barbecue?
I've had some barbecue. It's a very cool city.
KC is very well known for their barbecue.
Yeah.
They're very happy about the barbecue.
You can't come here without the barbecue.
You can't.
So, all right, we're going to get started with some quick questions from us to kind of warm everybody up and get going. So, Nathan, I'm going to let you take it off first.
All right. I got a question for you, Jeremy.
All right.
In the movie Sydney White, it's a modern-day twist on Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, in that you play a character named Terrence. Now, actually, which dwarf is Terrence supposed to be?
Oh, good question. I'd say a cross between Dopey and Smarty. Is Smarty a dog?
I think that's a candy.
I think that's a candy. Yes. I don't know. Oh gosh, there's a few dopies in there though. So
has anybody seen Sydney White?
Crickets.
There's one.
Okay, we have one. Okay, cool.
Okay. After this, go home and watch it. He is funny in this.
It's kind of you to say.
No, it's funny. I'll give a little bit away. To see him bounce between a doorway and the bathroom is quite hilarious.
So, my question for you. Now, we all know that you were in Mighty Med. Are you still doing episodes of Mighty Med?
I would love to be, but they canceled the show.
Boo.
I don't watch Disney, I'm sorry.
My kids love it.
Oh, okay.
That's how they got to know who you were before Donatello. So they're like, oh, the dude with the head.
The dude with the head, yeah.
What was it like putting that prosthetic on?
For those who have not seen it, I basically have a giant bald head because I'm an alien. It was pretty easy, 45 minutes. They just put a giant prosthetic head on and blend it to look like your own. And
so it was actually really easy to do.
Yeah, I didn't do anything. I just sat there and someone else did it, which is great. So
nice.
Yeah, no, it was comfortable. Those prosthetic pieces, which I've worn quite a few of, are generally pretty light. And
speaking of prosthetic pieces, does this particular piece ring any bells by chance?
Does it look familiar?
Oh my gosh, yeah, that does look familiar. Hold on.
This will lead into our next question.
I was in something that this was involved in? Okay. Because I say it looks like Lord of the Ring orc or something.
Okay, I'll say the question.
Galaxy Quest.
There we go.
Gotta be Galaxy Quest. That has to be some fan running around wearing that in the.
This is an actual prop by our friend Eric.
Right there in this the Hawaiian Spider-Man there. This is, he told us this is an actual prop that he's purchased that was used in one of the scenes where, like, down here in the panel, there was a fan wearing it on their face or the shoulder.
They had it on. Yeah, totally. Definitely remember that now. Very distinct look. Not sure what's he going for here? What is this?
That's a Magnar.
Magnar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Star Trek?
The Galaxy Quest. But I guess you could say it was like the Galaxy Quest version of a Klingon.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
go ahead.
Something like I am in the crowd scene.
Yes, totally. And you can point and pick some of those guys out during the movie and see, wow, they really come
I'm going to actually admit how much of a nerd I am. I actually have a Galaxy Quest patch at home.
A patch?
A patch.
How'd you get that?
They were,
Thank you, Loot Crate.
yeah, they were actually a part of Loot Crate. I wish I would have brought mine, but no big deal.
Wait, so, okay, I've heard of this. Tell me about, what is this?
Loot
thing?
Crate?
Loot Crate, yeah. How do you
Crate.
spell that?
LOOTCRATE.
Loot Crate, okay.
It's a
Yeah.
nerd box.
It's a
It
nerd
has all
box.
kind of goodies.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, you get all kinds of stuff.
Is it weekly, monthly? What is
Monthly.
it?
Monthly.
Monthly.
If you go to
What is it, guys,
notesnerds.com
like
and click on the link, you can get it from there.
Something like that?
When did it start? Now, who here, does anybody else here do Loot Crate? Okay, so people, we lost one. He's,
Oh, he'll be back.
just kidding.
He'll be back. Oh, don't worry. Last time we was in a panel together, we interrupted Gigi Edgley.
Okay.
We interrupted her, and I was so embarrassed. So don't
That
worry.
again,
We're not gonna interrupt you
interrupting
this
Gigi
time.
All right.
Edgley.
Well, we've got, is it okay if I ask these guys a couple questions?
Yeah, go
okay.
ahead.
This is your panel. We're just here for the heck of it.
I know you because you've been awesome in handling my table. Bethany, who's this with you?
This is my stepbrother, Joseph.
Hi, Joseph. Where are you? You know, you're from here, right? And where are you from? You're from here as well. Okay, cool. What's your name? What is it? Where are you from? Okay, okay. And then, I know you
He's
guys.
actually one of our photographers.
Oh, okay.
Photographers.
Awesome. Nice. Okay, that's Amanda Joe. Matt, that's right. She saw Ninja Turtles 2 52 times. in the
Holy
theater.
crap. And
No, she's amazing. Paramount found out about it. Yeah, bow down, bow down.
And I thought I was the nerd with like my special edition foam hand.
That's cool. So Paramount found out about it, and they sent her a tricked out, crate of everything? So she got 12-inch figures of all the Turtles, Bebop and Rocksteady.
I am so envious of you.
T-shirts of all those characters, right? Character T-shirts. What else?
And a little sign saying thank you, and they spelled my name right.
Little sign saying thank you.
We need her on the show.
yeah, no kidding.
She's got some stories.
She got
I mean,
cool stuff.
She's reciting
Move
things
over,
that I
Eric.
don't even remember in the movie. She's like, so when this happened, I don't remember. No. But thank you for funding our movie single-handedly down in New Orleans. Yeah. And BJ? Yes, one of the artists here. You're from here, right?
Riverside.
Okay.
Love the shirt.
Yeah, she's got a new turtle shirt every day of the show this weekend,
Wow.
which is fantastic. Darlene, hello.
I wore my.
You guys, I remember you guys from yesterday. You guys are from here? Des Moines, that's right. Okay, Des Moines. And
That's
then
a
over
long
here,
drive.
who do we have over here? Hello, Brandon. Who's that? Elizabeth, where are you guys from?
She's Chicago, I'm just from around here.
Okay, right on, right on. Okay, we have a great outfit here. Talk to us about this.
Yeah, some call me Tim.
Tim. Okay.
I remember you, Tim, from last year
Yes, we took your picture.
in the game hall.
Tim, where do you hail from?
We're down here in Olathe.
Okay. All right, and this is your lovely wife, Hope. Hello, Hope. I like your shirt. Turtle fan. Very good. What's your name, sir? Brian. How you doing? St. Louis. Okay. Okay. Rock on. And then who we have over here?
I'm Diego, this is my dad.
How you guys doing? Kansas City.
They're
All
friends
right.
of ours.
Friends of yours.
Yeah,
All
they,
right.
they sell some really cool stuff. What's your booth?
Yesterday was 1252.
1252
they
if you want to go buy
stu-
some cool
You
stuff.
still got stuff out there?
Yeah, lots of
So guys, check him out. He got really cool stuff.
You know, I feel really like this bubbly awesomeness feeling because it's so wonderful to see somebody who is in this, that you get so much attention, so much love from fans that you sit here and you're like, I know you, I remember you, I've seen you, and you know their names and everything, and you remember stories that you've interacted with, and it's just one of those things where like, yay, celebrities are awesome.
Well, thanks, man. I've had a few run-ins with celebrities who aren't awesome over the years, and it just makes
We
you
have to.
not want to be that way. So yeah,
That is awesome, and I applaud that. Let's ask you. You never got to your question, actually.
Well, I wanted him to talk to our fans because it's nice to meet somebody that is so humble and so nice to their fans. So you got to step back and just let that happen because
Let the
what
magic
it is,
flow.
it's a very nice thing because they're human too.
Well, I mean, I like meeting. Oh, did you just walk in? What's your name? Wait, no, come back. No, come back. We just want to know where you're from.
going?
No.
Come back!
No. Oh no.
It's okay, dude. Come back.
No. Oh no. He's scarred for life. We love you. Oh,
The Ninja Turtle guy asked me my name.
no. Poor guy.
But Donatello wanted to know you.
Yeah. Does anybody know him?
No.
No?
I think his parents are sitting right there. I see a person in a blue shirt.
Okay.
I don't know if they can hear me. Blue shirted person.
Come back
Hi.
in.
Hello.
Come back in. Oh, go get him. Go get him. And if anybody else is out there, recruit them to come in too.
Yeah. Well, let's go ahead and ask your question. And
All right.
while she coerces that
No,
child
no,
to come
it's all
back.
We're
right.
digressing.
You are the ringleader. We are
No,
your
no.
minions.
We have 50 minutes to fill, so
Yeah.
that's what I know.
We're just the clowns for this circus act.
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of Galaxy Quest,
Okay.
what was it like to work with the late great Alan Rickman on the set of Galaxy Quest?
Man,
Yeah, we have
And
to ask the hard question.
What was your first impression of him?
my first impression of him before I met him was I was probably a little, you're always a little intimidated by people that you see that play villains because you're not sure how much acting they're doing.
Yeah.
So I had, really only seen him in Robin Hood at that point. This was the late 90s, so. And
You
Die
never.
Hard.
I was like, you never
Yeah.
watched Die
Well, no,
Hard?
actually, you know what? I didn't see Die Hard until after I'd met him. I know that's terrible, and I hate admitting that, but I had not. My parents were very protective when I was growing up. So when did Die Hard come out? 88? Wait, no, earlier.
Yeah.
I was in
87?
junior.
I think.
I was in elementary school in the 80s, so yeah.
And I should know this because I'm a big Bruce Willis buff. So shame on me for not knowing
87.
this.
So I was 6. So no, my parents would not have. No. It was R, right?
It was an
Oh,
R-rated, yeah.
Yes, it was. Okay.
Yippee-ki-yay,
With that little
mother! Can't
signature
finish that
slogan,
one.
yeah, it's R.
So no, they probably wouldn't have let me see that till I was, 18. I don't know. Alan Rickman was probably one of the sweetest human beings that I've ever had the pleasure to be around. Justin Long was on the movie as well. That was his first film, Galaxy Quest. And the memory that I have is that the two of us would try and eat with him at lunch every day with him and his wife. And the wealth of knowledge, acting knowledge, and life knowledge pouring out of him was overwhelming. He was just one of those folks that was so sweet and so giving that you could just talk to him for hours and he would have more and more advice to give. So, he'd have great anecdotes and stories of which I wish I'd written some of them down because I remember nothing now. But and just tough when you hear there's a loss like that in our industry.
Are we that boring?
Yeah, sorry. Oh, hey, how's it going? Who's that over there? The other thing about Galaxy Quest that I recently heard, and I think I shared this with you guys the other day, when I was at the premiere for Turtles 2 in New York, Tony Shalhoub was there because he does the voice of Splinter, and I got chatting with him, and we were talking about Galaxy Quest, and I actually had done an episode of Monk. And he remembered, so he, reminisced about Galaxy Quest a little bit about them then too. But he was saying that, and I had heard that Amazon had picked up the rights to Galaxy Quest to do a series, and didn't know anything.
Awesome.
Yeah, awesome. Didn't know anything about what was going on with it. So I picked his brain, and he said, "Oh yeah, well we had actually the whole cast back for a 13-episode." Galaxy Quest series. Wow. Whether or not it would have gone more than that, I don't know. But and then Alan Rickman passed away, so I think everything got shelved. And I don't think Tony would mind my sharing that. But
I remember hearing about that in roughly about that many episodes, and it was one of those things where everybody was just kind of sad about hearing, because that was through the rumor mill because I remember hearing about it, and that it does kind of stink. That
It does. I mean, it stinks on so many levels. First, of course, losing Alan, but then for just the myriad of fans that are just so passionate about that movie and wanting to see more from that amazing cast, and then to think, oh my gosh, Sigourney, Sam Rockwell, all those guys would be coming back. Would just, I mean, I think people were just salivating.
oh yeah,
Anybody else a big Alan Rickman fan? Harry Potter, Snape?
Yeah.
seeing a lot of nodding heads at least. So yeah.
I'll give you guys something. You guys will probably laugh about this, but everybody always rooted against Snape, right? When he died, I bawled.
Yeah. Who didn't? Come on. Who? Raise your hand if you did not cry. Did not cry.
Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't.
Oh, of course
Diego
the kid.
over here. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Let him die. Bad
You know,
teacher.
the first episode, he's such a hateable character, and then you really get to know what's going on,
Yeah.
and that he loved Harry's mom, and you're just not right.
So I'm hoping I don't steal a fan's question on this one. Now, we all know in the original Ninja Turtle films, those were like at least 80 pounds dry latex costumes.
Yeah.
In your guys' turtle films, you didn't have to wear that. You wore what they call motion capture or mocap suits. What was those suits like? How much did they weigh? Do you know roughly? And mobility, because yeah.
We had, our experience was nothing compared to what those early guys in those rubber suits had to go through, thankfully. The main reason for us wearing any kind of suit was just so the animators, the computer animators up at ILM could have something to track on our bodies. So our suits were basically long sleeve, lightweight, zip up shirts that they had made, and pants. I would liken it to almost like a leotard, but not a spandex,
Not so
material. I don't
revealing.
know how detailed I want to get here, but and then we had those big giant shells, foam shells that clipped on like backpacks, and they had hip harnesses just so that we could move and they didn't flop around too much. And those doubled as great pillows when we were tired on set. So just kind of flop back and yeah.
Now, if you could have had your choice, would you have worn the motion cap suits, or actually been in like the original
original
Ninja
green
Turtle
suits?
rubber suits?
Well, no, I mean, I don't know that I would wish that experience on too many people, only because I've talked to some of those guys that were in those suits, and it's tough.
Yeah.
You lose a lot of weight, a lot of water.
Get very
and
dehydrated.
Yeah, and I think also just from an actor's perspective, and I will say, not anybody can just get in those suits and do the work that those guys do. They are strong guys, and obviously then they have the puppeteers doing the facial expressions and everything, and they work in conjunction with them, and that is a tough job. But from my, coming from where I am with less suit work, more traditional acting, I think the former circumstance was a great fit for us and the other guys that were playing the other turtles, just because we were free to act as our, you could see our face, the other actors could see our faces and interact with us, and we can move and feel kind of free to improvise, and nothing had to be planned out with the puppeteer as to what we were going to react to. And I think that freedom that motion capture affords these days is really, I guess, just kind of groundbreaking in what you can get from a performance from an actor that's going to be translated to some kind of a computer generated character. And it didn't take too much getting used to. Again, people always ask about those cameras that are right in front of your face, and you really don't after the first day, you don't really see them. The only other kind of hiccup that they place, or kind of limitation they put on any of the other actors, is that they would tell them to look at ping pong balls that were up on a helmet that we had for our eyes, and that could be tough to remember. And I remember Megan Fox just saying, "You know what, I give up. I can't remember to look up. I'm just going to look at your eyes. You guys at ILM, just deal with it." And no, I just, not in a spiteful way by any means. It was more kind of a joke. And but again, those animators, they can make magic happen, and they did. And I always think it's a lot better when actors are looking in each other's eyes. I think looking at ping pong balls, there's no way you're going to get the same reactions out of people. So I think it all worked out.
Oh yeah.
Has anybody ever seen they got a few of these shots out where it's the double side where you see the animation of the real actors? Isn't that like some really good stuff? I watched that, and it keeps so close with the actual expression.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm sitting there watching it, it's like, I kind of just rather watch the actors than the actual Ninja Turtles, because it's like, I can picture it in my head, so I'm like,
yeah, oh my gosh. And I hope sometime they'll release some of that side-by-side footage. You don't see a ton of it.
I've seen
Extra
3
features,
clips.
but yeah,
I want to see more. I'd like
know.
to see the rap and the shredder battle,
oh man.
just to see how they work that in, because that was all over the place.
Yeah, I find it fascinating when I talk to these the ILM guys at the premiere, like the first premiere. When we shot that first film, we didn't know what the Turtles were going to really look. We had maquettes and 12-inch versions of what the guy's design was going to be, but until you get into that room and you start animating,
You get to that?
you don't know what your turtle's going to look like or how your face is going to translate onto the character. So it was a pretty big, I don't want to say mystery, but it was definitely, you didn't know what to expect on that premiere day in Westwood on, TMNT 1. And just, they were still working on it right up until the end, so we didn't see a whole lot. The interesting thing is you have animators coming up to me and all the guys at the party afterwards saying, "Hey, how you doing? It's so great to meet you." And you see this light in their face and you're thinking, "Hi, do I know you?" Yeah, my name is, and I've been staring at your face for 6 months and I know it really well. And that was a surreal experience. But again, those guys, you think, okay, they're going to take your performance and they'll shape it into what they need, but a lot of times they don't have time to go, well, you know what, it would really look great if you frowned here and we'll put that in. They just do exactly what you do as an actor, and they literally translate that.
That is awesome.
Unless there's some huge note that comes in from a higher up or something that says, you know what, can't have them smirk here or whatever, and then they have the ability to change it. But again, the amount of time it takes for these guys to do these effects, they really, and again on the second one especially, we noticed that they really rely on the acting performance, which is why it's, again, it's more of an education thing to the public as far as how we make these films. A lot of people think that the Turtles are fully animated and we come in and do the voice later.
That's something we've talked about on our stuff, is that how you guys, we like 2 years ago, we was talking about on our stuff that, we was releasing whatever images we had that we found on the internet, seeing how that was going on. One scene we kind of missed from that was the mocap suit, but with the gentleman who played Raphael in the horrible trench coat. Never got released.
Never got that scene. Never.
Do you guys know this? And you know what?
Of course, she's got the picture. She's got a whole box of cool stuff.
Yeah, that's the big thing now. We noticed that a lot of people noticed that there was a whole trench coat scene, and they released the figures. Well, the movie showed up. It wasn't in there. Walmart, everybody started pulling those figures.
Oh my gosh, I didn't realize they had made them up.
Yeah, and so they
actually came
pulled the
across
figures.
one
So if
recently.
you
We wish we
find
could have got
them,
it.
buy them.
Yeah, they're rare. This is from the new movie, new movie that he's in.
TMNT 1.
There is a trench coat scene that Raphael is doing, but
Raphael in April.
There is a shot, there's a picture of the scene actually where it shows the gentleman in the whole trench coat, and you think, well, maybe he's just standing there hiding from passerbys in New York. So, what they do in most movies that we see behind the scenes stuff that on our level, where, you got your little glasses and your little makeup in disguise. This way fans don't come interrupt the film. Well, it turned out it was an actual acted out scene that just got cut out, and I don't remember where it happened, but it's playing back. I just spit all over the place. Sorry.
That's all right.
Just making, make sure everybody's, got water. It was a scene, I'm guessing, kind of hearkening back to the cartoon, because what did the Turtles always do in the classic cartoons, right?
If I
Walked
read
out in
correctly,
costume.
it
Plus,
was
he did it
after
in
the brothers were
first one.
taken and Raph had to come and save you guys. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yeah, from what I recall.
Well, I don't ask the guy who actually would know, huh?
Well, no. I remember visiting that day because I thought, oh gosh, they're shooting in Times Square. They've got a turtle in a trench coat. Megan's there. Will was there. Oh gosh, I think there was one version where Whoopi Goldberg was there. I'm not sure if she was actually there by the time they actually shot that scene. It went through, the script went through so many versions, and then to, down to what you ended up seeing in the theater, it changed so much to the point where when we saw it at the premiere, we had no idea what to expect.
Yeah.
We had no clue.
So if you find the figure,
If
Buy
you
it.
find the trench coat figure, grab it.
actually in his hometown,
Shh, don't tell them the secret. We
secrets.
found one in my hometown, so it's long way away from here. So yeah.
like 2 hours. But I picked it up and I was telling them the story about it,
Tempting.
and I was like, I want to buy this. But
Was-
You couldn't buy it?
not at the time. I had
All
a
of our
credit
money
card
went
on
into
me,
this.
and they're like old school and only
Oh
do
my
cash.
gosh.
Now here's a question for you: did you have any deleted scenes that you missed out on? Well, I shouldn't say missed out on, but just that would have been in the film
That were on the
just
cutting
really
room
cool.
floor.
Yeah, and the first thing that came to mind when that film came out was all the fights
Oh
that
yeah.
the stunt guys had done. We had incredible stunt team, and they worked for months, and they choreographed crazy fights, and they didn't make it into the film. I mean, there were a few fights. The Shredder,
Yeah.
Splinter fight was the big one and everything, but there were turtle fights. I mean, choreographed to the hilt. I mean, just kicking ass, and they were not in the film. And as a fan, knowing what could have been, sometimes it's
I'd still like
a tough position
Yeah.
to be in, because you think, oh, what happened? What's going on? And then people who had no idea just went and saw it, and either, listen, the first one, they either loved it or they hated it most of the time. But for the fans who loved it, they don't know what they missed. And
Yeah.
again, I'm an actor in the film, but I'm also a huge fan going in. So knowing what, the potential was, a lot of times it's tough to kind of have that peek behind the curtain. And for whatever reason, and I think it's kind of past enough now, okay to say, but kind of, quizzing the producers and kind of figuring out, because they're in the same boat too. They're fans.
Yeah.
They want the best movie possible.
Yep.
And it really came down to, from what I gathered, budget. It's so expensive, every frame of animation in those things. And you think, okay, well, budget, there's over $100 million. Well, that goes fast.
Those animation sequences, I remember watching a few, like Lord of the Rings, when they did the Spiegel stuff, that was leading edge at the time, and now it's like you guys are doing it like it's nothing really in comparison. It was expensive. Those movies had to make sure that they made their money back, because those are some expensive scenes. I don't remember the exact dollar signs that was on there anymore, but
Right.
yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, there was all kinds of quotes being thrown around, and I never knew what was real. I mean, I've heard like $60,000 a second or something.
Wow.
Who knows if that's right on? But and the other thing is, again, the film went through. And again, I don't want to get just assassinated by any producers for saying this, and I think it's so cool. But again, they had trouble finding the tone of that first movie, and so I think the reason a lot of those fight scenes may have ended up on the cutting room floor is because they may have been too violent.
Maybe we might see that in like a 10-year anniversary.
Oh gosh, that would be so cool. But the thing is, it wouldn't be.
You gotta
animated.
send him a version so we have it.
It wouldn't be animated, and I think that's
I don't know,
why
I
a
don't
lot of
think
times they don't release the stuff, because they don't
I would
want.
still like to see it.
I would
There's
love to see it. I
yeah.
think a lot of times there's a little bit of a fear of breaking that illusion for families and kids.
Yep.
Of going, wait, that's not a turtle, that's a guy running around in a suit. But I'm kind of torn on that, because this day and age, it's 2016. I mean, kids know that Tom Hanks is the voice of Woody a lot of the time. I mean, some of the kids certainly don't, but I just think nowadays people love to know how films are made, and it's not, Santa Claus may or may not be real.
Yeah. Well, I grew up on Star Wars. Going with what you're saying, I grew up on Star Wars like a few of us here in this crowd. And I'm sorry, I was one of those kids, every time a Star Wars special came on TV, and I'm talking like right around the Empire Strikes Back time came out, I was glued to the TV watching making of video shows where they did the green screen, how that person put on that costume, and I ate that stuff up. And when the Turtles came out in 89, 90, 91, 91?
90.
90.
March 90?
There was so much awesome going, Batman and Turtles and all that stuff at that time, so I can't kind of get them all a little confused. I ate that up because Jim Henson. I loved Jim Henson stuff growing up, Fraggle Rock and The Storyteller, and seeing those guys doing those costumes, it was just, as a kid, I want to know. And I think that's the thing, like you're saying, 2016, kids are becoming so much more technical. You know, now the idea of being a nerd today is so commonplace that we're all nerds at some level. We all want to see like how Jeremy was doing those scenes, and you know, I think the real question comes down to, so how many of the stunt scenes did you do? Which with mocap, I mean, you could just be sitting there in the chair for most of your scenes. When it came to actually running down the hallway, they could have threw somebody else in there for whatever reasons if they needed to.
And that was also frustrating too. And I think, you know, there was the scene in the first film where I jump off the back of the semi into the snow. I remember it was like our first or second day wanting to do that, and they wouldn't let me do it. There's like a giant pad and everything. Like, guys, I'm fine. Literally, I'll just jump off this. It's, you know, 5,
I got
6
a pillow on my back.
I got a pillow on my back. I can do this. And they just, the overall, you know, thing I kept hearing was, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be you. It could be anybody. You know, it's going to be computer generated over. And
which translates to the real statement of, we don't want to pay the insurance on your rear end.
Exactly. I know. If I got hurt, they'd be mad.
I'm going to tell you guys, as a fan sitting right next to him, I'm like seeing like Face and Donnie like at the same time. And when he hits certain like chords, I'm like,
yes.
I'm sitting next to Donatello.
Nathan, I think we've talked enough. I want to give some of our panel, our viewers here, a chance to ask him some questions. So do we have anybody who wants, right there, he was just, boom,
Diego,
I want to ask a question.
What's going on?
If you want to.
What? How tall am I? I can hear you.
Well,
let's hit that mic. I'm 6'4". What were we talking about?
What was his question? I didn't hear.
He asked how tall I was.
How tall are you?
6'4". Yeah.
Very short question.
We can't elaborate too much on that. Yeah. I grew 8 inches in 8th grade. That's all I can elaborate on my height.
Yeah, that has to be painful, growing that fast.
It was. I did have
so
growing
that's something
pains
you get to
growing
look
up.
forward
I'm
to.
6 foot tall, and he's taller than me.
Yeah, we have to look up to him, and he's younger than I am. Any other questions? Come on, I know some of you had questions earlier.
You're younger than I am.
Who, me?
You are.
I am?
You
okay. All right.
Okay, you guys threw it at the same time, so ladies first.
He's the old one.
I would like to see a third movie first. That would be amazing.
We're not going to go into details on that one.
Why?
Well, right now, we have this recording, and I don't want to cause any problems
I'm
with...
not going to say anything that will cause a problem.
Okay, well, we won't
I'm
say
sure
anything.
Jeremy knows how to handle himself.
Okay.
Yeah, man. Thanks for not.
I'm just
wanting to
looking
get me in
out for
trouble,
him. I don't want him in trouble. I don't want
We don't want to get
Nickelodeon
Jeremy
coming
in
out going
trouble.
like we're putting a hit out on him. I don't want that to happen.
Well, I wish I had something. I have not been told we're doing a third one yet, so
Wah, wah.
I know.
Nickelodeon needs to do it. Make it happen.
Come on, let's do it.
Who wants to see him as Donnie again? Come on, guys.
There we go.
Really?
There we go. All right, Eric, you had one.
I was hoping I could get to put on my neck guard.
You want to put that on? Maybe let's do it after
Yeah,
together.
that sounds fun.
And then I can run before
Anybody-
he does it. Just kidding.
Mine now, not yours.
I actually got
Possession is
something
9/10
for
of the
you
law.
as well. Later after this,
That would be, yes.
I'm going to make you a deal just so I can hear the awesomeness from my kids. If you could sign this limited edition poster,
Oh yeah.
I will give you this limited edition foam hand.
Oh no, I want to take. How about I
You-
sign your hand? You can give it to one of your kids.
I like that.
Well,
idea.
we have another one, but I know my kids. It's like, Dad, you gave your hand to
No, don't do it.
Donatello.
I have hands.
You
Because
have
they had
hands?
them at Premiere. They've had them. Yeah, we have. I
Well,
have
see,
stuff.
the closest one around here that had these was Chicago.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, like family came down, got my kids, took them all the way back up to Chicago just to see
I bet
a
she's got a
2-week
few
early
of them.
premiere. You probably got one?
You don't have a foam finger?
Yeah, You know what? You score us an interview, I might send you the second one.
Oh, you know what? It's funny.
I got 2 of them.
She was saying she didn't have any statues in New Orleans. You know the statues that made their way around in theaters?
Oh,
There was
like
like at least one, you know, a
Like
full,
that Hulk one that's out there.
Exactly, yeah, the full-size turtle statues, and they were supposed to be everywhere. And you
Oh, I've seen those. Chris Hardwick was making out with one of them, I think, at one time.
Was he?
I think so.
I do appreciate that, Jeremy, because you know what? If I do bring that back and it's signed, I bet I will
Yeah.
have 4 crying little boys.
Oh, for sure. Wait, tell me about this, because I love The Nerdist. I listen to that
Chris Hardwick,
religiously.
I follow him on Instagram,
Yeah.
and he was at one. I think it was the second film's premiere,
No way.
and he was just doing. You know how he does these prom picture poses when he takes pictures with celebrities. He did that whole kind of thing
Oh, I
behind
gotta
in
follow
front
him
of
on
it.
Instagram. I don't follow him on Instagram.
He's kind of my nerd idol, so everything
gosh.
we do, kind of, I try to emulate.
Yeah,
in a
Everything
way.
the
he's
Nerdist
amazing.
is, we wish to be.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
if I ever.
It's funny. I think it was with the Raphael statue that he does that with, and it's just hilarious.
Oh my gosh. Okay,
Yes.
I have to look that up. Yeah,
It's almost
his,
disturbing.
his podcast is incredible. Like the people he interviews, and he's.
We're getting there.
You guys are there. You know.
You guys
believe me.
listen. You guys know who the Nerdist is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty good stuff.
That is great. Yes, I would.
So,
oh man, I'd
We've
love to
worked
do
the
that.
past 4 years of our life to be that.
And look what we got. So, does anybody, come on, I know you had a question. Okay, good.
PJ.
So I've got one that's from my friend Rob Luther, who does another podcast called Turtle Links.
Ooh.
He has 2 questions.
Okay.
And turtle related. One is, what's your favorite incarnation of the turtles and why? Original comics? Do you like the?
I will admit that I have never seen a turtle comic. I was not a comic book guy. I'm going to have to go with, at the risk of going against the films that I did, I have to go with the original 1990 version, because that was such a milestone for my childhood, going to the theater with my family, seeing that film, then just it started this crazy obsession with turtles where I bought all the toys. I remember I lived in Minnesota for middle school, so we were just about to leave, and I got all the figurines, and I remember playing with them on the road driving there. And once we were there, we lived in an apartment before my folks found a place, and I had a purple bandana mask. And
The one with the green nose?
no, it was just a mask. I don't know where or how I found
Oh,
it.
I actually had
It
the mask
was-
with the nose and stuff.
Yes, I
and
had
it was
seen
Donnie.
that. I think I wanted that, and never got my hands on one. But
I actually had the Donnie one.
Oh, you did? Okay.
So did I.
Oh,
I got
nice.
the stick taken away because I beat up my brother, because my brother would beat me up all the time. So
my
I felt
gosh.
invincible when I had Donnie
Oh
on.
my gosh, yeah. And I found a broomstick, took it out of weaved it out of the broom, and I took a rope
Break a few
and wrapped
windows.
it around it, because I remember seeing something on the bow staff besides just a stick, and
Oh, yeah, the
now I
tape
know it's
around the
tape,
middle, yeah.
but I wrapped
See,
it in
guys,
rope.
he's one of us. Seriously, he's one of us.
And then I would run around the apartment building. I remember rolling under benches in the hallway to avoid people walking by, and I think people would just be like, "What are you doing?"
They were the Foot Clan.
They were the Foot Clan. Thank
God,
you.
that weird ass Jeremy kid's in the hallway again, guys. just ignore him. He'll leave you
Ignore him,
alone.
Pretend you don't see him. Yeah, that must have been strange to see.
What's the
don't
second
worry.
part of your question?
Kind of leads into the second.
Okay.
He wanted to know what your favorite turtle toy was when you were growing up.
God, that's a heck of
Oh
a
gosh,
long
that is
list.
a heck of a question. I'll say this: when I was walking around the floor on Friday. I came across a booth that had a lot of old toys, and one of them in a box was the sewer layer set. And for some, I don't remember. It may still be over there. It's in the back corner. They had the sewer layer set, and all of a sudden, just this flood of memories came back. I don't even remember owning one, but for whatever reason, seeing this, I must have owned it, because I remembered everything about it. I
You
don't
probably did like I did, and you get those. Remember the old Sears and J.C. Penney wish books for every Christmas back in the day?
know. No.
Well, maybe I'm that old. Holy crap. Well, I remember getting them in the 90s, those old Wish books from the big old catalogs you get from Sears and J.C. Penney's back in the day. I would get those, and maybe this is what you did, is fantasize so heavily about. I used to do the same thing. It's like you see it, and you get all the details that you can, and try to find as many pictures, and you have false memories of playing with it when you actually never did.
It's either that, or we had KB Toys in the mall, and that was like heaven.
The toy box, you're like, oh, I would so do this with my
could do
figures.
this, yeah. And then there's always the cartoon, the commercials. But then when you get the toys, you're like, well, where's the landscape and the water that they had in the commercial?
Mom, I need the hose.
Not quite as cool, yeah. So I would say that. I mean, I love my 4 figurines, and I can never understand why they all had a different tone of skin color. They all had a different green color.
Well,
and I figured out later it's because the molds, right? They need to differentiate the molds?
It wasn't about the molds. The original Eastman and Laird Mirage comics, all 4 turtles were basically the same tone, and they all wore red masks.
Okay, yeah.
And when the cartoon came out, in the cartoons they actually had a slightly different color variation between the greens of all 4 turtles, not just the mask. But it's so in most TVs back then you could.
I could not tell them.
Plus, they wanted to give them personality so your kids could tell the difference.
But it all boils down to
colors.
But it all boils down to marketing.
That's what they brought in.
That's what they brought in. Oh.
Yeah. But it all boils down to the marketing on them, where you make more money. This way the cheapskate parent can go buy 4 Raphaels, because we saw a comic somewhere that said they all had red, so let's buy 4 red ones and that's good enough. I can't find the orange one now.
When
or
there
whatever.
was 50 some versions of Raphael, Rock and Roll Raph, Star Trek Raph.
Yeah.
So the color tones and all that, it was just a marketing ploy, because I remember the toys well enough that the only thing was different was the head, because one would have the wide on both sides, one would have a small and big grimace on the other side, and stuff like that. So
I could never get into like you were saying, the rock and roll. I always wanted the purest, original. I don't like the ones where they have the extra rocket booster on the shell. That's in nothing. There's no version of Turtle movie that had a rocket booster on someone's shell. So why are you selling the toy? I never understood that.
Was you one of those kids that absolutely hated the Shredder toy until Turtles 2 came out and you had a Super Shredder?
Ooh, I don't remember.
Who hated the original Shredder toy? Because he was stuck in that stupid pose, and you couldn't do anything with him.
Oh, you couldn't do anything with him?
He has legs bent.
He was like
Can you show us?
Elvis pose.
Always stuck.
Oh, man.
And then the Ninja Turtles 2 Secret of the Ooze came out, and the Super Shredder toy was released, and it was like, yay, a proper Shredder! We can't get that for you this year, Eric. No!
It's $29, and we can only afford $15. Yeah. So I was in the same boat.
Hey, I got a question for you guys. What is your favorite character, each and one of you, from the franchise?
Oh, that's a good question, whether it be Turtle or not.
We'll start with you.
Michelangelo. Hey, you're
Eric.
new. Are you from here? What's your name? Rick. Are you from Kansas City? All right.
Awesome.
Hello, welcome. We were all introducing ourselves earlier. So.
We got a new one back there, too.
Oh, we do. Hey, how you doing? Superman. What's your name? Ed, where are you from? Okay, very cool. Thank you for coming out. Okay, Diego, who's your favorite character? Raphael. Okay. Any other Turtle fans want to raise their hand and share?
Donatello was always my favorite.
Thank you. Yeah.
Woohoo! You in the red?
Oh, because in Galaxy Class. Thank you. All of them. Yeah.
You're one of those personality types that's kind of like an even, nice sliced pie chart, aren't you?
Yeah.
Because remember, the theory is that every turtle represented a specific personality trait. Raphael was rage and anger. Donatello was intelligence. Leonardo was courage and leadership.
Yeah.
And Michelangelo was about being fun and having fun and partying. So basically, what you're saying is you're just a little bit of everybody. That, or you're just completely indecisive.
Originally, I always chose my favorite color was Leonardo, but then as I started to think about it, I think I'm more of a Michelangelo personality type.
Yeah. Well, you know what we found in the film as we were discussing all the personalities, they really do make the perfect, I'm going to say human, but they make the perfect personality.
One
because
character,
all of those traits into one make
And you
everything.
throw in Splinter for the aspect of wisdom.
There we go. Okay, yeah.
In terms of personality type, I'm probably more of
Hey, I'm in the same boat. Yeah.
I'm unfortunately a Raphael Donatello mixture. I'm an angry nerd.
Tough combo.
I actually liked all 4 of them, but I also like Casey and Mondo Gecko. I had the first Mondo Gecko comic. I had the first figurine. I can still remember when I seen him on the Ninja Turtle cartoons. I even have the episode.
You know what?
cool.
I can see this happening if they don't if they have to reboot the Turtles for any reason and you can't be a turtle.
Yeah.
Just we'll petition for you to at least be a Mondo Gecko. I can see you
Okay.
pulling that off.
Sweet. Okay. Thank you.
We'll
Keep
just
me
strap a
employed.
big old tail on you,
Yeah.
and this way they don't have to mocap too much.
Okay.
Actually, that is one. Let's finish, you guys. Anybody else want to say who their favorite turtle is?
Donnie.
Anybody else? Who's your favorite character from the Ninja Turtle
Shout it
franchise?
out.
That's always the question I've always been presented, and it's not really a turtle that I like. I've always said, whenever a situation came up, I said, what would Matthew Splinter do?
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah.
See, that's a good life lesson rule right there. What would Splinter do?
Wiseness and sushi.
Anybody else want to say what?
Personally, I like April because she was a babe in the cartoon.
You can't deny that. She was always the hottie.
Yeah, we're not going to discuss that any further.
We'll end it there.
I was old enough to know better than to discuss that any further.
Did you guys had any more questions that you guys
Yes,
had?
yes.
Go ahead. I don't want
Do you guys? Well, before we return to that, do you guys got any more questions for Jeremy?
any more.
Of course.
Ask
Go ahead.
away.
How young was I when what?
When you started acting?
6.
6.
First commercial. Then
Well, hey,
He
if
didn't
you're feeling
play.
discouraged on that, Alan Rickman, his first major role, actually I think his first real acting role, he was 46.
wow.
And that was Die Hard.
Oh my gosh.
So just remember, even if you get old like your dad and me and a few of us in here, you still have a chance.
That's right.
It's just don't ever pass up that opportunity.
I actually didn't get into television and stuff till I was like 30 because I was a musician and I toured a lot.
Yeah.
So now being 30 and out of my prime and I'm turning ugly and falling apart, they finally want me on television. And I have a face made for radio.
So just remember, even if you feel like you're getting, you're like, crap, I'm not 6 anymore, I passed that opportunity. Never.
I didn't do
doubt it.
anything major till after high school. I just did commercials and stuff. So if you want to act, and again, my uncle decided to quit his job and start teaching kids elementary school. He was 55. You can do
Follow the
any.
dream.
You got a long life ahead of you. Don't worry. You can do anything you want at any time. Except you probably can't be Michael Phelps when you're 55. But
I don't think Michael Phelps can be
I
Michael
don't think
Phelps
Michael
at
Phelps.
55.
I think he's done now. But
Any more questions, guys?
more cues.
Right there.
You?
Okay, since you've done some movies where there's a lot of makeup, things like that, like Grinch, things like that, and then also it's just you acting like guest spots in Breaking Bad, House, and stuff like that. Which one do you prefer? Being funny, covered up, or would you rather it just be you and you kind of do more things like that?
That's a great question. This is are you guys podcasting? So should we
We're-
repeat the question so people?
Yeah,
can
let's
hear
go ahead
what
and
it is?
repeat the question.
The question is.
Shame on you. I'm going to correct you like I do everybody else. We're not a podcast. We're a web series.
He's very
Web series, all right.
He's very finicky about that. The question, I'm gonna paraphrase probably a little bit,
Yeah.
but the basics of the question is, of all the acting roles that you've done, it boils down to you being in costume or behind CG kind of artwork and stuff, or you're in front of the camera, all natural. Which do you prefer and why?
And I think there's, oh gosh, after doing a lot of, I did a series of prosthetic jobs, one after the other, seemingly. Grinch, Men in Black, Haunted Mansion, and there was a lot of makeup time involved with those. Some of them, 4, maybe 5 hours, depending on if it was a test and, things like that. And I don't enjoy that. I'm not a Doug Jones where I can patiently sit. Apparently, that guy's just stoic. If you're familiar with any of his work, he does a lot of creature stuff. I have trouble sitting that long and, having people touch my face with cold paintbrushes, but I love that work because it allows me to do things like Turtles or Grinch or, some of those aliens and Men in Black, where I'm anonymous, but it's a big film. And I love going to the grocery store. I love being out. And, it's nice, if not everybody's recognizing you, you're able to kind of go about your business. And as much as I love meeting people, I've been around folks who've been in big films like that where it's their face and they have trouble living. They can't just go out.
So after this, we're going to put Jeremy in the mask and let him walk around the con, so please leave him alone so he can enjoy himself.
Now, having said that, when I'm on a job where it's just me, sitting there in makeup for 2 minutes, I'm just overwhelmed with appreciation for, and not taking for granted that is how some jobs can be, and sometimes they're not. I relish those jobs. They're great. And it's fun to get a little bit of recognition for you being you and, not buried beneath a character, but there are merits to both. It's, I don't, if a job comes in and I unless it's weird and objectionable, usually I'm pretty game to do it, so.
Have you ever, just gone into the grocery store and you're just not in the mood to be on and recognize, do you ever just say, no, that's not me, I don't,
Real quick.
thinking on someone else, like
That's funny. Yeah.
I'm going to reiterate her question. I think we're going to have to make that the last question because we're getting to the wire here on this one. Basically, reiterate is when you're going out, do you run into the problems that you just discussed? And when you do, does it boil down to being like, oh God, come on, I just want to get a carton of milk, please?
Am I ever in the mood to not interact with a fan? Oh gosh.
If you answered it like a human, we'd understand.
No, I am, you have to, and I've learned you have to, when you're going out, you have to be ready for anything. And, it's that, the thing is, and that one person that runs into you, that 6-year-old that comes up to you at the store and you're in a hurry and you've got somewhere to be, that's the only time he's ever going to see you. And he's going to remember that depending on, how big a fan he is for a long time. And if I'm rude to him, that's not good. Yeah. That's awful. And I've been in that situation before too, where you see someone you love and you just go up and they're in a rush and it's not a good favorable impression of people. Next time you see them on the screen, you're like, well, he was kind of a jerk to me. I don't, and I would never want to do that. Yes, of course, sometimes I'm in a hurry, sometimes I'm not in the mood, but you have to take the time to shake somebody's hand and just, where are you from? Who are you? And that's, you have to. I could never not do that. What's that? Who would I run up to? Oh, I don't know. I'm not great. At this point, being in the business, I usually don't. I remember I was standing behind Megan Fox at a Mexican restaurant about 6 years ago, and my buddy's like, you should say hi, you're an actor. And I was like, yeah, I'm an actor, gee, who cares? That doesn't matter. And I joked to him, I said, I'll chat with her when I'm working with her someday.
Okay, guys,
and I did. Isn't that funny?
we have to wrap it up, but if you can answer this in one word, how do you feel about being a part of the Ninja Turtle legacy?
One word.
Blessed.
Awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Jeremy Howard.
Thank you guys so much for coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nathan and Eric. These guys are awesome.
And remember, guys, if you want to get his autograph, get pictures taken, remember he is still out here on Celebrity Row. I don't know what they're officially calling it.
And before we leave, we're going to actually face this way and take a picture. We want you guys to come to the center so we can get a photo of all of us together.
Yeah.
We're going to pull a Nerdist real quick.
And you can find this on our page at notesandnerds.com.
Wow, look at that. Everybody gather in.
If it's kind of all gathered together.
Okay, wow, that's great.
Feels like I need to be on the chair next to Jeremy.
I'm blocking everybody. There we go.
There we go. Ready?
Where are we looking? Over?
Hands up, waving. You can either do spots.
Right up there. Okay. All right, cool.
Ready, guys?
Got it.
Thank you guys so much.